Just so you know, there are spoilers in this video. You have been warned. Why? Why? Well, the premiere has come and gone, and I have to say, I like it. Heck, I loved it. While I'm not going to get into the premiere as a whole, I am going to talk about the character Sombra using the episodes as a base. Right off the bat, I'm going to go on record and saying I loved it. I love this set of episodes, and you should watch it for yourself if you haven't already. Now, getting into it. King Sombra, the mismanaged character. In the premiere, we finally get more of King Sombra, what he can do, his personality, etc. And honestly, while I loved every second he is on screen, it is also bittersweet. It is well known throughout the community that the Dark Pony is a character that has tremendous potential, and there are several reasons for this. One, his design. Just look at him in comparison to a regular Stalin. Taller, but not as large as Big Mac. His mane literally laced with the power of shadows. He even has fangs. Just from that image alone, anyone can tell that this is a character with an interesting backstory. And remember, he's supposed to be a regular pony. Number 2, his abilities. We have a unicorn who has the power of shadow and darkness through crystals. Do I even have to start on how awesome that is? And number 3, and perhaps the most important reason of all, he is a blank slate. We know nothing about him before. Who was he before he became king? Where did he learn dark magic? What set him upon the path of darkness? I seriously doubt he woke up one morning and goes, "Raw, I'm the king of the Crystal Empire now, I'm evil." Yeah, it doesn't work that way. So, because he is a blank slate, he is a pony that you can literally do anything with. He is a lump of clay waiting to be molded, to shape him in perhaps the most interesting, complex, thought-provoking villain in this series. Or at least one that rivals Starlight Glimmer as far as character goes. Now, some of you might mention the comics, and while I would love for that to be the case because the comics gave us a summer that was truly interesting, the writers of the show seem to go out of their way to avoid the comics, even when the comics and other books literally fill in the blanks and plot holes they could be bothered to fill themselves. So we might as well assume that the comics don't apply. That being said, what I'm about to say next could be proven wrong if certain conditions are met. But to tell the honest truth, the reason why I say Sombra is a mismanaged character is because I believe the writers of the show do not know what to do with him. If they bring him back to do something more, I could be proven wrong. But from what I have seen of not just Sombra and his brief appearances, but the television show as a whole, I honestly do not think they will bring him back. Now granted, Grogar literally said, "But when you fail, you will submit to me." And Sombra agreed to the terms. So despite him serving as a warning to the others, there still could be the potential of him coming back for the final showdown in the finale. But all the clues say otherwise, and reaffirms my hypothesis that the writers are stumped when it comes to utilizing Sombra. Clue number 1, defeat. Notice that Sombra is the only villain in the TV series to actually die. After the episode The Crystal Empire, they literally stated that Sombra was dead. You know, for kids. In the premiere of Season 9, they retract this, but the point still stands, especially when you see how he's defeated in said episode. Once again, for kids. Now, why is that? Look at some of the other villains' defeats. Nightmare Moon, depowered and reformed. Discord, turned to stone. Chrysalis, shot with love power and sent away. Cozy Glow, sent to Tartarus. Tyrek, depowered and sent to Tartarus. Starlight Glimmer, whose actions caused the world to be transformed into a desolate wasteland, is punished by becoming Twilight student. No one else, not a one, is flat out killed in the show. A show, I have to remind you, that is for kids and is supposed to teach the lessons of friendship, reform, and forgiveness. Only Sombra this happens to. This normally happens for 2 reasons. 1, the character has told all that was needed to be told. 2, they can't think of anything else to do with him. And it can't be the first one because there is a lot you can tell with him because he is such a blank slate. Clue number 2, his portrayal. In season 9, they show more of his personality, but the problem is it doesn't fit with his character, or rather I should say the basic premise of his character. In all of his appearances, Sombra is shown to be not only powerful, but intelligent, cunning, and ruthless. He knows what he wants, and he will do whatever it takes to secure the goal. Not just with brute force, but tactics as well. He always seems to have some kind of plan. Examples? In the Crystal Empire, when Twilight thought she had the crystal heart in her grasp, it turns out to be a trap. And the cutie remark, Sombra was shown to be in a war with Equestria, and he successfully took over half the land, despite his forces being primarily earth ponies, all under his will, proving he is a master strategist. In the beginning of the end, Sombra fooled the ponies into thinking they won so he could implement his true plan, showing he is quite cunning. In fact, he could have won completely, and with that we get to the real heart of the problem. In the season 9 premiere, Sombra comes across as arrogant and snobbish, and would boast about anything to anyone who would listen about the slightest deed, while season 3 Sombra is literally a pony of few words, no nonsense, focus on his goal, and will do whatever it takes to achieve it. He does not beat around the bush. For example, when Shining Armor tried to attack Sombra, the Dark Unicorn immediately goes into action, disabling Shining's magic and continuing on with his goal. He does not waste time. Season 9 would have done a 20-second monologue on how awesome he is and how nothing could stop him. This is how I knew this was a different Sombra. Season 3 Sombra would have finished off the main 6 immediately. No boasting, no bragging, just a swift and complete victory. Now the question is, why would they do this? Why would they present King Sombra in a way that contradicts what we have seen so far previously, to give him such a cliched personality? Simply put, they did this because when they finally got rid of him once and for all, no one would miss him. As a matter of fact, almost thankful that he was gone. Just watch the beginning of the first episode of season 9 and how he is portrayed. Despite an awesome entrance, he is rather quiet, saying only a line or two. He listens. Even when Grogar demanded they followed him, he was the only one of the villains who wasn't intimidated. Also, he didn't lash back at him. He merely waited and took in the information. That is more in line with the Sombra we have seen in the past. But the moment he refused to join them and stated he works alone, he proceeds to go on a monologue on how he would rule. It was such a personality shift, I didn't know what to make of it at first. It was so out of left field. To tell the truth, when you honestly think about it, the villain of the episode should have been Tyrek. The personality they thrust upon Sombra is actually Tyrek's if you think about it. The only difference is that Tyrek is more brutish and aggressive, but the core concept is basically the same. In fact, he is the one who should have left and gone off on his own. It is already well documented that Tyrek is not a team player. Just look what he did with Discord. Season 3 Sombra most likely would have waited, bided his time, and accessed the situation first, and how he could turn it to his advantage. The proof of that is when he leads an army of crystal earth ponies against Equestria, and was winning despite the enemy having Unicorn and Pegasus as well. Anyone who knows anything about warfare knows you have to know when to attack, when to pull back, and most of all, when to be patient and bide your time. Another example of that this is not the same character. This Sombra, the new Sombra, goes off and does whatever, trying to get all the power he can right away. Sombra, in the alternate timeline, does come back, but he does not rush into things. He takes his time. He makes sure his forces are ready and secured. He plans because despite Equestria having superior troops, he is the one winning, proving he knows the strengths and weaknesses of his enemies as well as his own forces and how to use it to his advantage. Now you are probably thinking, if that is the case, why bring him back at all? Now, this is just speculation, but I believe that they brought him back because this is indeed the last season of Friendship is Magic, and they wanted to cover all their bases and give one last shout out with this character. Sombra does have a fan base, and it's a lot bigger than you think. The twist is just that they are not super vocal about it as other fan bases are. On the other side of the coin, they could have depicted Sombra this way because he could possibly overshadow Grogar. His new voice is a clue for that, at least to me. While I am not much of a fan of the new voice, I can understand why they changed it, at least from a certain point of view. And honestly, I think it is because Jim Lerner's voice of Sombra was too good. It would have taken away from the threat that is Grogar. I mean, granted, we don't know what this version of Grogar is truly capable of yet, but when you compare this to this,
you may call me Grogar.
It is quite clear that if Grogar is going to be taken seriously as the top threat of this show, you're going to have to downplay Sombra a bit. Even give him a personality change. So even then it's a lose-lose situation for him. The crime of literally being too good, like being overqualified for a job. Now, anything is possible, and I could be proven wrong, but the season is just starting and we will see what happens. Now, I want to be clear, I am not mad at the new Sombra. I just wanted to convey why I believe the character has been portrayed the way he has, as far as the television show goes. They literally took a villain who has all the makings of becoming the top threat of Equestria and gave him a cliched, snobbish personality that just does not fit from what we've seen of him so far. The shift is telling, but don't take my word for it. Go back and look at his actions and plans in the Crystal Empire and the QD Remark, and then look at the Season 9 premiere, and you might see and understand what I am saying when I say they don't know what to do with him. If you want Sombra proper, look at the comics. They not only utilize him effectively, they flush out so much more of the world and characters in the MLP universe. Also, there are plenty of fan stories out there that do manage to do him justice. It is amazing what some people will come up with in their spare time. When you get a chance, I suggest you check them out. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want me to do more videos like this, let me know. Like why Chrysalis rejected Starlight or how they could have fixed Cozy Glow. If you all are interested, let me know. But until next time, catch you later. Thanks for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please support the channel by subscribing and leaving a like. Every little bit helps. So take care and see you next time.